Right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. And we got a special guest in the house today. Very first time for day on the platform. Very happy for get a guest of that kind caliber in this special times na the history of the country and critical and necessary. Famulem, I bring warm greetings to una from the TNN, then and now TV media empire. Today, na the 4th of September 2022. Me where they talk to una. Obviously, my name is Prince Emil Kroma, and I'm in the anchor presenter and host of the program on the platform. There have been many things ongoing. Every time we hold a broadcast, it's obviously something new about something old, if you don't understand what I mean. Today, they center we conversation on a month-long or week-long campaign that we've been having. In other words, conscientizing the minds of Sierra Leoneans, trying to tell them about the significance of voter registration. And then long before the process commence. That process they don't commence. Today na day 2. It started on the 3rd and will end on the 4th of October. Okay? And that means a month-long exercise. And inside that month-long exercise, you get for more light on the particular exercise, even though it don't commence. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in very interesting times now in country, and very interesting times they are. History is being made right in front of our very eyes, and some of us are helping to shape the course of history or shape the country, the direction where it go, along with people who are tasked with that responsibility in terms of the voting process, the constitutional process, the legal process. So now I make once in on every occasion, we can find that very important for bring people on that level, decision makers for that matter, lawmakers for that matter, for bringing them come for can explain to Fambulem. And we are delighted and grateful to we guest tonight who I will introduce very, very shortly. Like I say, we go center this conversation on voter registration, but it's not only on voter registration, because there are many things that have been ongoing in the country, in and around the country. Almost every other day, there is something new, something pertaining probably to the sphere of influence where we guests belong, but something about the country in any shape, sense, or form. So voter registration will be critical along with the opposition party APC, along with government, along with parliament, one of the key institutions, in fact, one of the 3 equal co-arms of government. So we get a lot for land today. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd expect this program for last between an hour and 30 minutes. Very critical. So at this point in time, we ask Una for please help for share this program so people will be a part of the program. So people then go witness history being made, not being told. Okay? This, now the then and now media empire platform. Don't touch that dial because we will be right back. Right, ladies and gentlemen, like I promised, it's a very special occasion, very special day, very special broadcast. And with we today, we get none other than an honorable member of the Sierra Leonean Parliament. And this man, Naina the MP, member of Parliament for constituency 033 Namakeni, is none other than Honorable Peter Yamba Koroma. Honorable Peter Yamba Koroma, Member of Parliament, Republic of Sierra Leone, constituency 033. Welcome to the now for the very first time, sir, and we are very thankful for taking up the invitation. Probably you want to say hello to Fambula and maybe a short word before we comment into this interview.
I thank you very much, Mr. Koroma, for hosting me on this program for the first time. I've been on to follow this program, and I see say when I do quite a lot of good work and when I own contribution to the development of Sierra Leone in that way. So it is absolutely a pleasure and an opportunity for me I get this invite for be hosted on this platform, and more especially today when we don't just start a process for registration, we go culminate into the the we will culminate into the elections of 2023, and we just start yesterday, and today it gives me an opportunity for share some experience where so far we don't note down, because una self and everybody in the diaspora, everybody in Sierra Leone gets a right to know what they go on and how it dey go on in the right way. So it's my absolute pleasure to be here, and I thank you for the opportunity.
Right. Thank you very much, Honorable. And exactly like you say, history has been made. There is an exercise ongoing in the country where began only yesterday. So let's talk about it, Honorable. There have been many talks about this voter registration exercise, both leading to the day itself, which commenced yesterday, and yesterday and today. There have been many media reports coming from the inside the country where they tell we about issues, technical issues, logistical problems, and etc. So let me just ask straightforward in the first place. How is the registration process ongoing in the country? And if we can begin from your constituency, because I believe say you are home now and they watch and monitor what's happen. But after your constituency, generally speaking, sir, what's your observation? What's in the reports the way they reach you around this voter registration process?
Thank you once again. I just come on at the field, and I begin for come for make I able can attend to this particular meeting. Uh, the information, the current information, the exact information is that when this registration process started yesterday and up to today, we don't experience what we go call a level of unpreparedness on the part of neck, where don't become a little bit worrisome. Not only that, the machines them wouldn't bring, they're not properly configured, but also the fact that the machines them, their operations are very skilled. The machine go start for work, 2 3 minutes, it don't go off. A machine no go last with in power. Computers then we didn't get no the last to the power for more than an hour. It don't go off, and they not provide any further means for ensure so they get backup power for power them machines there for carry on, as well as the staff themselves. The capacity of the staff, we don't question them a whole lot. A simple example is the fact that yesterday today na a center where na day and his Koroma even register the person where they behind the computer, he misspell Zainab for Rebecca, Ramatu for Rebecca. So the actual person when at this Rebecca, then go get a Ramatu, they don't get on the sleep. The person go home, they go realize a name, a wrong name, he gets, he come back, they say, well, they are in a dilemma. Once they don't save, the information don't go to the server, they cannot retrieve it any longer. So you will see the level of capacity even on the side of the one them way they operate with the one them way they then train for do this here. So the experience and the concerns them that them based on the logistics as well as the human resource um, thing. So put these two things put together, it means yesterday's operation was a sham, complete. A lot of the centers are not open. they're open, they're not open on time at all. And they're not able to work, operate throughout the process from 7 to 5 o'clock. No. A lot of them able to manage for 1 hour, 2 hours, and that was it. Some managed for 3 hours, and that was it. So you go see a center, you're not able to register more than 8 people yesterday. So whilst we they now grapple with this, and before this one, from the point of view of Parliament, we insisted for make we call NEC, for make them can tell we how prepared they are. Then come then tell we say they are prepared. To an extent, they gave us an assurance that when you go to the center, the whole registration or verification process, will take more than 2 minutes for a person. Now, with the experience, people will be there for 40 minutes, 30 minutes. It is too slow. So then we come back and it is coming to reality now. We even been suspected this time. We want to put a 1 month, it not do. 2 weeks some side, 2 weeks some side, it not go do. And we are starting to see that time no go ever able do if we are sincere and serious about getting everyone we eligible for vote, getting them to be registered. So that not the first day experience. The second day experience, it has not changed very much. It has not changed very much at all. Now, my own constituency, almost one whole chiefdom, the machines operate for like an hour or so, and they're all go down. All the centers went down. All the centers went down. So I was inundated with a whole lot of calls from there, concerns from the chiefs, concerns from section chiefs, local chiefs, and within McKinney. We started from 7 o'clock this morning. There is no center at all where they not call me for report a problem. So, my brother, this now in we get at the moment where we dey deal with. We send party agents them where they take all of this, and we are going around to collect all of this. And in fact, I have been given the responsibility for collect all the challenges there, for make we put them into a report where by tomorrow we go submit them to NEC and forward them to other places for their attention. So this is where we are at the moment.
Thank you very much for the clarity around this issue. But let me push on that a little bit. I'm honorable with all due respect, sir. Because this process has been before we arrive at this process. Obviously, you get to go through a house that you belong to, a house of honorables, and una play a
Sure,
major part in the lead up to where we are today. So what I
sure.
understand from research, yeah, I stand to be corrected. What I understand from research conducted is una begin the all green in terms of the process, and huge money was allocated for them process there. And now with the year, but we will come to that, not on this show per se, because that part is still being investigated in terms of funds that were provided for NEC for able for carry out the mandates there. We now would defend hiccup and with people and they struggle. But una the parliamentarians them did give a green light as opposed to the system that on the day itself it will be working okay. If this is true, honorable, it shouldn't be a surprise or shock to you because that's where you appear like today. That is if it is true, sir.
Absolutely not a shock, not a surprise. Because I repeat the statement, say we've been called NEC na parliament for can ask them on the level of preparedness for conduct this exercise. And the answers we will receive from NEC, the indication what we get from NEC is that they are very, very prepared. They are ready logistically prepared. They don't recruit the enough and adequate manpower levels for carry and conduct these exercises. So they get the data set. They don't test run. They don't test run the computers. They don't institute very fast software with a sync with the servers so quickly. So we were given all of these flamboyant assurances. So for make we come down at the field just yesterday and today, we see this level of challenges. It surprised me a lot. Surprised me a lot. Now the excuses and now we they get from the staff on the ground is that some of the computers are old, then get few new computers. Computers are old, the systems this, oh, it was only on the day then put the then test run some of the computers, and while then they test run some of the computers, then they find out say some of them faulty. So then they do not even have the number of computers where they be say they get that number not even there. So you have these ones where our computers and our system and our booting and save them where they use from where the NCRA being used for the registration processes, and those ones were configured in a way for capture particular areas. So what they do then just lump all of these and bring them, and those were meant for capture the first time voters. So now, because of the way they were configured, now you find out say a whole lot of them they malfunction. When you input the information of one person I have for McKinney, as you dey try for save that information they go fall somewhere out of McKinney. So yesterday we had to go and rush to NEC for make we go raise this for make we go put a red flag on these ones, and they were all over the place trying to say this, trying to say that, oh, it's not because of the way they were configured by NCRA, but that they will correct it because you get to come up from that computer to that computer, then don't accept that computer the imputation it get for be wrong, but that once you go to the other computer outside they go end the process, that computer they now go actually capture the right information. So this is what we are living at the moment, but we are capturing all of this and putting all of this into a report.
Yeah,
So your
mm,
your answer
yeah,
question is big
go
surprise.
on, sir.
Yeah. Just to conclude, say, the answer, the succinct answer to your question is yes. We are very surprised that just from the get go, um, we don't see these challenges where we not been the experts because of the assurances where you know um, neck been given.
And this is what exactly lead me to this point, Honorable, whether um, um, the House of Parliament is going to take some degree of responsibility, some share of responsibility for waiting to happen now. Because this is a situation where I believe that could have been averted. This is monumental from what you explained, so sir. And I say this because I've never operated within the well of Parliament, but I want to believe say Parliament get some powers, like for summon, subpoena people, like committee them, say una come, okay, since una don't explain to we, can we see, a proof of waiting una they talk about? Like in this case here, so una they explain. Because it look like saying just in good faith, una accept waiting and say, and look at how it turned out for be.
You're correct in a way. You're correct in a way, but I most times I can be critical of the institution where I find myself, Parliament. But on this one, I go on for say, Parliament try for do in job by summoning NEC and asking NEC about the level of preparedness. What have you put in place? Your timelines, who is set, are they realistic? The logistic, where you don't factor inside this process. Do you have them? Are they adequate? We with the committee, even the development planning committee, meet with NEC and meet with statistics before a week or so before the before the commencement of this exercise. And all the one day they say yes. So because of the technical nature of what they do, we at that point can only now rely on what they tell we for say they are aware that what they can do now a matter of national interest, very very serious business. So not expecting them go put like business day, and so maybe yes, like you say, maybe Parliament could have said, bring it. Let us see. You've told us. I mean, it will only take 2 minutes for somebody for come to the station and register. It will not take them more than 2 minutes. Maybe we could have said, all right, come for a demonstration. But that did not
Okay. So I think we get some issues with the
If
reception.
Parliament,
Okay, we get some reception problem with the honorable. So please, family on Abia.
sorry,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
all right, sir. This is very important conversation here today. As soon as you read the
yes,
honorable, we try to clarify certain things. Go ahead, sir.
yeah. So I mean, they say if the judgment would have been to say, una be need for ask them for test run, una they don't give me say 2 minutes, 9% go spend at the station, they go done. Then maybe yes, in hindsight, we could have said, okay, come for a demonstration, come and demonstrate to us that is it. But it did not happen. We take them words and believe on them on the fluffy promises and assurances where they give. So Parliament would have thought that we do we own side for vet them for ask them for the level of preparedness. So they don't feel themselves as soon as it is at the moment, except if they will improve along the line before. But already on the evidence of yesterday and today, a whole lot of time has been lost. The numbers, the computation, with mathematical computation, what we do at the moment, it don't completely go in shambles because on the basis of 2 minutes and even 5 minutes for person for day, we would have expected 5 minutes per person now the same now for the process multiplied by the number of hours for the day from 7 to 5 plus minus you pull 2 hours for other things. We've been getting our mind some levels of mathematics when we will draw up. But at the moment, all of this is completely in the air, scattered all over the place. Nothing for because it not it take less than 20 minutes for one person per day. We did not cater for 20 minutes. We catered for 5 minutes. In fact, we were generous to cater for 5 minutes because the assurances we received was 2 minutes. We were generous. So I've said, okay, let's do our mathematics on the basis of 5 minutes plus so that we give some leverage, some gap. But as it is at the moment, way over 5 minutes, 20, 30 minutes for a person. People and they cry, say the process too slow. People and they go 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the level of willingness where they on the part of the people to get themselves registered for this process. People when they go to centers, I not believe myself going to see people starting to go to the centers 3 a.m. right? And these people will still be there up until the end of the day. So this not a problem. What if that person don't sacrifice that day, he don't go, he spend the whole of the day, spoil some of his sleep, he not get registered. What level of motivation will that person go get again for the tomorrow to come? So this will increase the level of work for us. Go around, still trying to pacify with people and talk to them, beg them for make them patience, for make them bear. Fortunately, people are prepared, people are ready. So we are losing some for that day, but the majority they try for hold up and bear at the centers. That's not the situation.
All right. Thank you again once more, Honorable. I shall say the sentiment I'm about to express go resonate with the vast majority of Sierra Leoneans because they are suffering as a consequence of the negligence on the part of the authority them we them be designate for carry out this process and even you self don't say so. But owing to the sort of history, there is never not never about actions against people and we they fault on serious systems like what we they see so they are basically no punishment we can serve as deterrence. I hope so we're go get to the bottom of this for the sake of country and people. While we're on the same topic,
Well,
honorable. Yes, sir,
the,
go
the,
ahead, go
fortunate,
ahead.
the, for- the fortunate side of the fortunate side of the elections body na big na way parliament day on recess at the moment. Like which they talk so if parliament not dey on recess, this na something where if we don't come up quick na parliament for a debate and discussion and summoning of these people. But fortunately for them, parliament they on recess at the moment for 2 months. So except if the Speaker of the Parliament deem necessary for recall Parliament for an emergency. And at this moment, considering what in the happen in our country, considering the state capture, we don't take place. We some of our even accept, we some of our even involve Parliament. Then what hope do we have to see a speaker recall Parliament for a discussion on this matter? The hope is very
Well,
small.
yeah, that's tough talk, honorable, real man talk. Um, um, on the basis of the conversation we don't hold so far, centering still on voter registration, reports still they come up from Tongde, and some of what you said it happened for confirm that, but just that we know certain. In other words, there are allegations of regional discrimination. This is my terminology of waiting to happen. So, what do I mean by this? In places like Bo and Kenema, okay, in the south, southeast, things seems to be working out fine. There are no hiccups on machines like getting too hot and breaking down and what have you. So it seems like there are two sets, if not more than that, in terms of machines. Newer sets, according to allegation in one source, unconfirmed, say all of this is in the south and southeast. Hence, things are going there smoothly. Whereas the north and northwest, this is where largely the difficulties are, and this include Freetown and McKinney, your own place. Of course, you don't already explain that, which makes the story sound really true. So parts of the north, northwest, and western, the western region. Can you throw some light on this, please, Honorable?
Um, I mean, the same investigations we wanna they do so now in which of they on at the moment. We are holding our guard at the moment. We dey gather all the challenges now at the moment, and we don't set up some systems lately today as I dey talk meetings for day on for make we start for make we get further information from other areas like they make that comparison there. And so far so good. We self get the information say at the south and the southeast things seems to be working fine. And if that is so, then it give we every reason for be suspicious. But we are also waiting for some confirmations. We want to get to a level, a threshold where we go feel very comfortable for call things by their right names. So that's what we're doing, and God willing, anytime tomorrow we will come back and speak out with regards to our findings. But as so far so good, reports also where they reach we, they indicate say things are like working fine at the other end of them, whilst from Freetown, the western area, the whole northeast, northwest regions, all they complain, whilst we not they seem for see the level of complaints and they from the south and the southeast. So, but we are still gathering our information. We want for reach a level, a threshold where we feel comfortable for make we call them the right names, and maybe by tomorrow we will.
And there are also reports which are really concerning, Honorable, which is the process in itself. Instead of being how you call yeah, the registration process for conduct on a national level, it seems for they on a regional or rotational level. Is this true? And if it is true, what can you say to that, sir?
In a day all over, it is national, same time,
Okay.
except that, except that, because of the lack of the lack of adequate preparedness, the lack of adequate resources in terms of machinery, they cannot now do all the areas them together. For instance, if my constituency, inside my constituency, as it is at the moment, I get 26 centers within my constituency. They cannot. cover all the 26 centers at the same time. Now they are only covering 13 centers for 2 weeks. And after the 2 weeks, then they take all the
Being at the Honorable for questions 033 Bombali and McKinney. This afternoon, we'll begin with a short message about the.
Sorry, sir. Go ahead, please.
it's all right, yeah. So after the 2 weeks, and go take back all the machines and from the 13 centers when they operate now, transfer them back to the remaining 13 centers inside the constituency. So what did then do? Then cut in the middle the constituency, the centers them within the country. If we had, I not get the figure again on top of my head, but if there were like a thousand centers na the country, at the moment they are only dealing with 500 centers. So that na so they do. Then cut everything in the middle. Constituency 033 gets 26 centers. They are only operating in 13 centers at the moment. So after 2 weeks, then pull out. It means say they only send, even though not 26 centers and then our constituency 33, they only send that 13 machines. That constituency 33. So they are dealing with 13 centers. After that, after the 2 weeks, then take back all them 13 machines and they take them back to the remaining 13 centers. So that is how they plan them. That's how they do them at the moment. So the remaining parts of the remaining centers them are waiting for their 2 weeks. We go start somewhere on the 20th or so.
Okay. All right, sir. I want to go back to the process itself. The lead up to this process we we're on now. There were many accusations thrown around. Some appear to be very, very relevant and appear to be really true, sir, which is and based on previous campaigns, voter registration, although we understand some of the constraints, but MPs were not seen critically. They mobilize people for the campaign. And when they say una not do am, or the reports say they say una not do am, some did not do it, some did not do it on time. Probably there are reasons why. And I know say I get a video now I want play of you, but waiting critical is not of us say you not do am, but when did you do it? But let's listen to the video of the MP, Honorable Peter Yamba Koroma of constituency 033. They appeal to people for go register for the elections.
Tamba Koroma, the talk. Me na the Honorable for constituency 033 na Bombali and McKinney. This afternoon, for give una a short message about the registration where they come. The registration will be on the 3rd of September to the 4th of October. Where una read date there, una go see in 1 month. But the important thing I want to remember is that not to 1 month you actually get Nigeria. You only get 2 weeks Nigeria. If you have 20 centers then they na your constituency or na your ward, 2 weeks go to one side, the other 2 weeks na other side. So do you from the 3rd, the 4th, do you not allow to pass the 5th, you not go register. When I know the importance for register. Where statistics here been do the census recently, the number that we come all see them. The number they say we not better, we not boku na Bombali. But now only this registration now in we for do for make them know say we boku. And if you number them small na your area, na so you will get small with the time within the shape. But if you number them boku, that's so you will get boku. So do you people? Una allow we commot. Una not wait so they talk to you. Commot go register so that you will be able to vote when you right. And until you vote, now you will get you own choice. You will get you own person we want as president. You own person we want as member of.
Okay, Honorable Koroma, that now you tape down there, now you voice down there, but waiting critical is accusations. Okay, I think I lost you briefly. Honorable, that was your tape, that was your voice, appealing
Yes.
to the people for go out there and vote. But prior to that, like I've been saying before I play the tape, is there were many accusations levied at you guys in particular for say una not galvanize the people them enough, una not mobilize them enough. Normally, you go don't see MP them, don't hold bullhorn. They don't go to them constituency them. They mobilize them people them. So what's important is when was this video, and I know they ask for let you name a date, sir. I just they say people let me they complain before that video they come out. But that video they come out late. Then they not get impact on the process itself, especially your party, because timing is critical, it's of an essence here, isn't it, sir? Honorable, you hear me, sir? Okay. I don't think say you hear me. Honorable, you hear me? Honorable, you hear me, sir? Okay, if you hear me, I need to see reaction
Mr.
from you. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
No, I've been fall off. Sorry about it. The internet look the play up.
That's all right. We can cope with that. You're not the first, sir, but you're doing quite well. So you understand what I say earlier on,
Yes,
sir?
yes. Yes, I can understand the sentiments around the time where
Yeah.
where the sensation messages then come out. But now I show you say us on the part of the opposition, we don't start this. We're not being start well, the whole exercise, the whole talking it been start when will be the discourse and debate the Public Elections Act. The Public Elections Bill, when will be the discuss NIN, no NIN, you know, the discussion will start around that. But once we be able to finish that line, we don't already know say the process will go ahead. We been start. Except that, Baku no go see and me being the host, me for instance, me the host programs every weekend. Saturday in the morning and Sunday in the afternoon. Sensitization programs on the registration business. And my colleagues them, many of my colleagues them, most of always we the MPs them not on the side of APC, we all task ourselves say everybody for do in your own starting from that end. So different channels and the way we do them, different channels. We give responsibilities to councillors. We worked with the councils them through the chairman and the mayors them within our councils. They engage with the councillors. We started by taking notes of, in fact, all rewards, all the villages them, the councillors them then go. We make we own statistic even beforehand. We dey go and do a register of every village, and in the process, we educate the people on this registration business. So, except for maybe on the magnitude of national radios, and maybe we use like this video where they just play this one was sent. This one almost now the last bit now. The last bit for summarize for just top up now all other sensitization ways them what we don't utilize the sending messages through through WhatsApp, like I say, one-to-one engagements with the communities through the councillors, and several other means. So I'll go just one for assure me listeners now, for say on the part of APC, our people were well informed, well engaged on this process, and I can assure you, say, now in contribute to the level of readiness right now where we see so. The reason why the inadequacies on the part of NEC they show up now because of the turnout, the big turnout, the preparedness on the part of the people. They're ready for wait. Then they go 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. It is as a result of what we tell them, the pep talks what we give them, on the importance of this registration, as a conduit for change the circumstances of this country. So I think say all of that put together now inculminate to the level of tornado we dey see at the moment. You know, the slackness of ECSL and then level of unpreparedness and all of this, it clearly wouldn't show am the way the amount of readiness on the part of the people where then come out, where then they wait to themselves. There's the people and they say if na net ten and net to the dinner, yeah. So Mr. Kruma and my listeners, I think say if we are eating up for the level of engagement and sensitization, we will give them long and even before this time, long before now, preparing their minds, leading up to this process. Maybe with all this frustration, what would they say? Maybe we don't see like what happened yesterday. Today, sometimes the numbers then we don't just be small and everything. But today the numbers then surpass back what happened yesterday and so on. So an officer will get any problem on the part of the awareness of the people about this registration. Our people are very aware to an extent that they are ready to go through any crucibles so just so they get registered. I see a lot of old people in today, old people in today. They were sat there waiting patiently. Some one mommy I go meet her in 2 foot them all seriously in which I say, even though tell the mommy say, okay, mama, where the computer I get problem first, like carry you go now host first, then where the computer, Mrs. say will take you. The mommy say picking 10K, but last you don't first no more. Yeah, I want to register. So I think that as a result of the level of education we will give them, the amount of awareness we will raise on their part.
Many thanks. Since we get you here today, we will just like for clarify a few things. Again, Fambule, we will talk to Honorable Peter Yamba Koroma of constituency 033 in Makeni. And we just dey talk over things them way they happen at the country, we be not happen, we lead up to where we are today, mainly the voter registration. Honorable, you mentioned the public elections bill, and I want for Rob Motspan a little bit. And you also talk about NACRA. In other words, institutions them or body them will be responsible for today's conduct and going into the future conducting elections. This now process is a beginning of a process. But before this beginning was another beginning. What was all this drama around in parliamentary regarding the bill there will eventually pass into law? Because what we were being told that there were bad bills embedded inside them bill there, which obviously mean it creates the drama around parliament, and people became aware and therefore begin for put under pressure, say something needs to be done. The NIN, for example, national ID numbers, we understand them, for be disadvantaged voters them. But somehow people got wind of it and then they go to Una and put pressure on Una for do something about this. Eventually, the bill was to pass. Before it passes, as we understand them, will it ever be embedded where negatives and not be there in favor of the people were removed before Una passa? What was all this drama about in this bill? Light going off in the well of parliament, parliamentarians, the general safety. Generally, waiting exactly be happen, sir.
Yeah, yes, certainly. So it was short an interesting period. Now the country. That I mean, I not be ever see 2 months them. Now all my life in parliament, I not be don't get any interesting moments. Me experience in parliament like them 2 months then day. Really. I mean, for me, which I go put them clearly and quickly. Now when they say like where you dey see say you want sink, you dey do everything now to try and make you not sink. And so in FIBA, I mean, it seems like say this government doesn't say where all else is failing. So now the best thing for do is or make we wrap up some of waiting with the bad things that we intend for to wrap them inside some laws them so that we go able to execute a plan for get what we want. That was exactly what happened at bill. But thank God for we robustness. Unlike waiting maybe others them in the field say we only acted once we were attacked or prompted or no, we did not. I mean, it is always they always can say a bill where the government they draft until it go for cabinet approval, it gets in cabinet approval, and until it comes in a parliament, until they lay them on the table, it is not the property of parliament. Until it is laid on the table, even in a pre-legislative hearing, where sometimes the ministry where they pilot the bill go come and say, okay, I want for just give a taster of waiting so that una go advise us as to waiting for do, so that not go get too much of worries when it come for debate in the parliament. So normally they can go and say, would they ask una for una advice? Let us come and have a side talk on this matter, present them, we look at them, and follow una provide some advice. So exactly that they happen with the Public Elections Act. They did bring it for a pre-legislative hearing. And inside that pre-legislative hearing, they made a PowerPoint, and we told them firsthand, or say this will not see the light of day. Will not see the light of day. Una go, una remove them. Una come back with them, so that it will be, it will be. Of course, when they bring them, then they bring them with their own explanation, their own argument. They will do everything for pass them. So, but at that level, at that time, all parliament get for do, now for just advice. You take them fine, you not take them fine. But once you come now, you can't lay them in the parliament. Then now it is now open for the proper debate. So it been look like say the advice we give them, they not take them. They bring them today for pre-legislative hearing. The following day, then put them on other paper. Other paper na the agenda for parliament for discussion on the day. We saw it and we were surprised because at that time we expect all what will be done talk behind the scenes. We'll pull this because of this. We were expecting if we don't take them another week or so, or go readjust the bill back and bring and come. But they brought it the following day. Fine. And we saw, and that now in make una see the fight we been come. Because nothing way the SLPP don't talk about it, they have to pass it. Then a lifeline for them. They get for pass them. And because of the type of parliament we get, now then all the presidency inside the parliament, they're able to do what they want to do. Now they get the speakership. That's why they imposed a speaker on the parliament wrongfully, right? Now they get the clerk. That's how it was installed wrongfully. Now they get all other things. They not get the majority, but they can bulldoze anything because now then they pretend the affairs of parliament. And their interest now for protect the government. They too care about the sanctity of parliament. They too care about protecting the constitution. Here it's about what do we do and how do we do it to protect the government. Now we young government, we not go do something for put to government in bad light. So we get for protect them anyhow. Anyway, now that's now aim. So in that bill, you saw them bring about the NIN. Whilst the NIN, now a good idea, but we kicked against it because they put it as a precondition for registering. You forget them before not even bother for going at the center if you don't get a NIN. And we say, no, but wait a minute. When NACRA been they do the registration for creating NIN, yeah, we realize say they're not been getting capacity for capture everybody. They were not able to go into the villages. Thousands of people, even inside the big towns, are not registered with NACRA because they did not have the capacity. So if you were to put it as a condition, then you are going to disenfranchise thousands and thousands of Sierra-Leoneans. So that was why we stood against it. That's why we stood against it. Now, then get other things where them put there. The controversial or them things the controversial aspect of this but I will rub more panel because it gets something for do is it's politically charged. The issue of the issue of Tusim, for instance, right? Everybody for realize and understand and remember, see, there was a time where Kande Yumkela and us on the APC, we made push the issue of Tusim for eradicate the Tusim. SLPP only. This what I mean SLPP, not the government, but the SLP members of parliament, they stood against it completely. Then they said they no go don't suffer for the government, for the party, where the party don't kind of power, then other people then come for make the witness safer. That witness said they come as a private members motion, a private members bill na parliament. So we follow around. But like they say, if the speaker not get interest, if the clerk not get interest, the leader of government business, if you not get interest, that's the same thing. We get similar other things then. Where then they blame parliament for? Because parliament are institution. They just they blame the parliament because parliament are institution, but not to every person at parliament, culpable for that particular thing there. So I've always argued for say I will not exonerate parliament. In Bakubakuti, I am not going to exonerate parliament, but I would love for make we disaggregate parliament, for make we attack parliament in different. We get the administrative wing of parliament, that the leadership of parliament. You get the leadership, you get the administrative, when at the clerk in your own side, then the leadership, the speaker, the leader of government business, and the blah blah blah. Then you get the ordinary members of parliament. So a lot of the time, leadership will do what they want to do without the knowledge, approval, and consent or the concordance of the ordinary members of parliament. So the ordinary members of parliament might hold a particular view. They might want to fight for a particular view, but the leadership is of another view. And then if they want for poilam, they have poilam. That is the Sierra parliament for you. I know they talk ill about the institution what they, but just they try to speak the reality because there's been situations where they will not just lump every first people at the parliament and say nothing. Corruption, if they talk about corruption at parliament, the member of parliament only they see salary, the ordinary member of parliament. If money they come now for bribe for let a bill pass, if money now they come for any other thing like cooking, normally they say, oh, let them make this way. The ordinary members of parliament don't know. But when they charge parliament for corruption, they say the parliament, everybody's corrupt. This that I will touch on because it's important for us dichotomize parliament in the different levels of operations. As a member of parliament, me, the only thing why they see in our parliament, na my salary. Right? Oh, brown envelope, no brown envelope. I never see brown envelope for the rest of the time where I don't in a parliament. Nobody no ever give me brown envelope. Nobody no ever call me any side in a corner. Never. So if they say corruption at parliament and then just say everybody's corrupt, then I'm bound to say, hang on a minute, but me not deep on that corruption day because I not see nothing. So this is thing. So in the bill, there were a whole lot of other things. So something about 30% for women. It is good. It is right. But the way they put on there, it's tokenistic for women. It's tokenistic. There is a bill in a parliament where come on, the gender bill within our parliament. They are, it's still there, and the women are saying, don't, not sorry for us. No, not sorry for we. Not go put something for we in a corner. Just go catch a small side inside the elections bill. Put it inside we own gender bill, but we don't submit our parliament. While it is still there, and they take any further step, they don't do first reading on them, and from first reading it has not gone to the next stage. I will not be able to say because some of these things are the decision of the leadership, the parliament. So, but most importantly, now things we've been get for do with this registration, and thank God we've been able to know them. Now they may flip back and forth. Today they talk about NIN. What they say NIN is a problem. Now then go then say then talk about using the the census figures them we don't get for make them do boundary delimitations so that they go do a district block, conduct the elections on a district block system. Now, all of this, when you go to the constitution, you'll find out that the district block system, not to the extant law, not to the extant law. Now, the first past the post, now in the extant law. You know, the district block system, yes, they use them two term, but it was because of a reason. There was a reason for it, and that reason not exists now. That reason not exists now. So this was our argument. We don't argue. Before now, then bring the district block system as a proposal inside the bill. But wait and see, say when the argument don't out for that 1 month or so period, and realize they're losing it, then reverse back and say, okay, in fact, we don't talk about it again because it didn't have the constitution anyhow. Right? So they lose all them battle then they now clandestinely with the say then they can do a boundary delimitation. And why they do a boundary delimitation and what are the legs where they stand on for do a boundary delimitation? Because you can only use a boundary, you conduct, you define boundaries using data. Initially, they were not sure of using the data we then get from the midterm census. Then shambolic midterm census, they're not being too certain and too sure in the user because of the public lie, the shamefulness we surround them figures then they. But because they're still in the loss, so they not revert back to using those figures because you can only now figures for use for make it delineate boundaries. So now they don't say Bombali gets X amount of numbers, very small. Freetown, the numbers are small. Kenima, the number they pass Freetown. You know, Bo, the number they pass which they say. Even Moyamba, the numbers they pass big towns them. So now they don't do that one and they. That is why we the think say they are frustrating this region, our regions, on this voter registration because this voter registration will come prove them wrong again. Where them go don't say now 2,000 days some side and then go see 20,000 commodity, then we go know who that go carry the shame. I will believe say with all the faulty machines, with all the delays, with all the witnesses, they not go according to the act in terms of recruiting the personnel for do the job they are. The act is very clear. Say for recruit locals. What we see, the majority people they import them from one place completely against what the act say. So this not the what they said, but yes, the elections act where now we discuss, we talk, we argue. Now I think we still see so the ramifications of that act, the arguments them with the inside. You know, we agree say the need not for be part of harm. Yesterday there were complaints about some centers them where they go, then they ask, say the need this and that. We'll receive them complaint, we run, we go there, we go charge the officers them, tell them say if we hear any side they ask for need again, no problem. The day before the exercise, I be doing a radio with the regional voter education and training officer of NEC. We ask them the questions. We will now 2 computers now a center. The one computer now for verification. You assuming that you be done register in the past elections, you go and verify you. Now then they then think say it will take only 2 minutes. The other one for capture new registrants. So then new registrants and initially they told us they will be working side by side with NACRA official. But now, as it is at the moment, there is no NACRA official, but they are using NACRA machines. So now the question is, are you generating that registration where they go, that slip where they then get they say that 18 digits? Are you generating a NIN number? They are not able to answer that question. Then they go say, no, we are not generating a new. Then they no mean saying a NIN number. You know, then they say, oh, well, maybe, but we are not sure. But what we go do? All this information, what they capture, so we send them back to NACRA. What would they say? We thought it was the other way around. the NACRA and statistics here alone, that from them we have fit information from. Not to una they generate information again. But at the moment, that is what it is.
Many thanks, Honorable. It seemed like there is a lack of planning, policy, and then training as well. So there are going to be huge issues. Um,
Correct.
you seem to
Correct.
yeah, thank you. You seem for don't cut and
Correct.
short for me because all the things the way you address just now, I was going to ask you about all of them that include the NIN, the midterm census, we culminate into the boundary delimitation and waiting the constitution say. But luckily you've dealt with that. And ladies and gentlemen, just for a reminder now, we just
Yes.
don't go past the 1 hour mark. We they talk to Honorable Peter Yamba Koroma from constituency 033 in McKinney. And trust me, it seems like this is a teaching process. Sometimes I can enjoy the teaching process when my ears can open for land because there have been so many things ongoing, especially within the wells of parliament. And the man I'm speaking to tonight is an honorable member of that house and is giving us, some things that we don't the happiness how we see him. I believe both as an MP and from a personal point of view. Um, um, One thing what I want to say is it seemed like of course when I take credit for this bill that we pass and the way out and pass, which is rightfully so, and people are glad because of that people and me want. I don't know whether this is a case of una finally defend una balance or una grit, for stand up because equally so inside the same house, and we don't pass many bad bills. I wonder waiting may happen then, or what's the change about now? It is a good thing, but as Sierra Leoneans then assured going forward that this is what thing they will continue from foresee from them elected parliamentarians. Honorable, are you there?
Yes, I am
Okay.
here. Yeah, I did hear you.
Yeah, so I'll be just the
So
ask,
yeah,
yeah, whether yeah, I guess you get the question, yeah?
yes, I get the question. And yes, the there's been this situation where especially us the opposition
Okay, so with the experience
say, we
reception
have been suspected on a number of cases. Either maybe, they not see the hello,
yes, sir, you there on.
hello,
Yes, you there on. They hear you.
hello.
Yes, we hear you. We hear you, sir.
Still hearing me?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So yeah, that the question. Well, I go say from the bottom of my heart, very, very sincerely, is that from the get go, from the one, we realize as an opposition, say, in fact, we've been sour, we feel sour. We not feel say ABC been lost the elections. We feel say that election was stolen from us. And with that level of bitterness still in us, with that level of disappointment still in us, I not see, I not go sit down here and talk about every other person as if all of us are angels. The only thing I will tell you there's never been a collective position to forestall or compromise on any bill. There's never been a collective. I cannot sit down here and say, no, everybody was clear, everybody was a saint. I not go equally accuse anybody. The only reason why I go left that small space that because, I don't know every other person they work at. But from the side of the collective, I can assure you, say, we, the parliament, the opposition at parliament, we have always stood together and we always believe, say, we have to come back to redeem this country through ensuring that APC comes back to power. Through ensuring that APC comes back to power. This has always been an agenda for us. So whatever the understanding or the good talk way you may get with other people on the other side, I mean, then na when I'm moving for say you know they inside the same house, you are not gonna make yourself enemies. But when it comes to the to the real substance of what we all stand for, we have never compromised. Maybe our zeal for one bill in past one might be different from the zeal we go put to another bill, depending on the nature. But to say we are conscious of a bad bill, a bill will go affect with people, and we compromise for pass them for satisfy the other side, I don't feel so. That you know, especially so, where for me, why what's not the impetus, what are the interest for that one? Where nobody no ever meets me say, yeah, 1 cent for that, even as an inducement. Even though if you induce me, if I no go do am, but nobody has approached me for induce me for that. So I will imagine say it is the same for the whole lot of my colleagues MPs them on the side of the opposition. It is just that you know uh, you cannot be critical for everything. Some of them when they come, we see the small good in them, we challenge the bad way they inside them, we say pull that bad day, allow them for go for the sake of the country. But we know they come you wholesomely, we pass a bill where in entirety is bad for our people and we will go compromise on them. I not witness yet that happen. At least
Okay.
it not happen collectively at all on the side of the opposition. I can assure you about that. I can
Okay.
assure you about that. Integrity for me is everything. So uh, uh,
It's good to hear
in my
that
own
about.
experience, it's short that
It's good to hear about something like that about a member of parliament of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Integrity means a whole lot to you, and I sure say a lot of people will love what you've just said, Honorable. Just for the benefit of time, I want to go through some things then quickly because we get roughly about a quarter, about 15, 16 more minutes for go. Let's talk about the deteriorating security conditions back home. It's just a quick question to you personally. You don't sound afraid anyway. You sound fearless. But owing to the situation, especially a few days ago, and now the heightened state of security in the country, are you afraid? Do you have any fear for your life? Okay. Um, um, Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're having reception problem on the other side of the Atlantic, but that's fine. We did talk to Honorable Peter Yamba Koroma of constituency 033. I wish he can come back so we'll just wrap up this interview quickly because so far the interview has been a great one, a really great one, because they don't open with eye to many things then. Instead of hearsay, they say, or circumstances, prevailing circumstances, they don't do some clarification then for we, which I am very thankful for, and I'm sure the audience will be equally thankful. So let me make sure say we bring and come back. Let me just ensure say we bring and come back so we can finish the program. Um, we all go understand say a lot of things don't they happen inside Parliament for quite a while from the beginning. And they talk about within the administration of His Excellency retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio. Many controversies, many dramas inside Parliament. We see from the beginning 10 parliamentarians ejected of Parliament. We see the selection of a speaker and the process, that make a call and selection, and many other things in terms of waiting now the expectations of government where government won't pass bill. So you can see that the circumstances or motive are there for having the majority inside the parliament because you want for pass on bill and the honorable been talk about then things then they but we see clarification on a few things, especially so centered on voter registration, the lead up to RAM, the midterm census, the PR system, where they say they want bring come back now the program will not be actually necessary, although it's been used twice in the country, but that was under certain circumstances. The one way we know of, now the first past the post system, which hopefully is the one going to be used. But we see the midterm census and we see many other things that they happen in the country. So on that basis, we bring the Honorable Peter Yamba Koroma for can help we for understand a lot of these things. I mean, just they ask about the security situation in the country, and we don't hear about who thinks they're like MPs being seized, being jailed, and spend time in police holdings. You would think say these kind of things barely happen to MPs or not on them basis they probably for different reasons, criminal act where a court will have prosecuted such and it fall out of favor from the house of honorable men. But no, picked up by police and for days missing in action. So hence my question to the honorable. I'm not sure whether they hear me. Honorable, are you there, sir? Honorable?
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Koroma.
Yes. So you can blank
Yes,
your
Mr.
camera
Koroma,
now.
I hear you. I hear you live.
Yes, sir. You can blank your camera now. It will help for save you the reception and will be more clearer with audio only. So just forget about the camera for now, because we wrap up the show and in a few minutes, sir.
Okay.
But that will give you more internet strength. So I mean, they ask you about
Okay.
the deteriorating security situation now the country, and whether because we don't see situation in which parliamentarians were picked up, colleague of yours were picked up and disappeared for like for a good period of time, and later on resurface.
Correct.
So I just they ask you because the circumstances not been look normal. Are you in fear? You know that similar fate can become of you or any other colleague. Are these difficult times for you guys?
Are not they in fear, but are they in acceptance that today, tomorrow, I might be one of those people who then go pick up and incarcerate? Are not they in fear because I realize, say, we could be the last people enough for fear. If we fear now, then we don't. We now the last people and get. Then if we not show strength, we not show example, then of course um, the vulnerability on the part of people go increase. The fear will increase. So now, for me and many of my colleagues, we accept the reality. Say in present day Sierra Leone, respect no they on how and when for arrest a member of parliament, how for treat a member of parliament. That day is completely out of way. They can pick you up and arrest you and detain you anyhow they want. So now a reality we will all get for live with now. So I did think very much always I did talk to my friends and which I say for say if I'm arrested tomorrow, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised at all. Even though I will try for limit myself within the boundaries of the law, but I not get no guarantee say I will not be arrested. So yeah, that's the answer is um, I am concerned that such a thing happen, but I realize say I get for acceptance. I've been put myself up for represent the people, for stand for the people. So in the face in the face of this reality, in the cause of this adversity, I need for stay ready for any consequence, which is what I've been don't put myself into. So I am concerned that such a thing they happen at the country, but I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I am because I don't accept the reality for say I can be arrested and detained anytime.
Okay. Many thanks for that. There are also allegations out there because a lot has been happening within and without the well of parliament. Somewhere where you guys are supposed to feel safe. Even outside of the well, you're supposed to feel safe. But there is some ongoing conversation out there saying, I get a conversation with him with a colleague of yours, not in parliament, but party colleague, just a day or two ago. It make the audience for understand say that the president is an MP, and as an MP, he's therefore a colleague of yours. And when somebody na your colleague, you know the relationship with
Sure.
them between una. You know can always tend for be cordial, but una can hold
Yes.
una self in some kind of a regard. In this case, politically speaking, then they say una no don't put una foot down tranga enough, like for stand on a ground or someone even summon the president, have a strong conversation with the president, or demand for meet and for discuss issues. Is this the case, Honorable?
No, no, it is not. It is not the case at all. Again, now a result of how the parliament is set up today. Now, as a result of that, where you have a leadership of parliament where they shield and things say then they protect the executive, then they protect the president, no matter what. So are very much aware, say the members of parliament, especially on the opposition, don't ask a couple of times for the president, and it is correct that the president is a member of parliament. He gets a seat in the parliament. So he's definitely a colleague. I remember for these whole 5 years, the president come to parliament one, we go committee room one. But in not being particularly come as a summon for they come, they can discuss with his colleagues. He come for something and later an opportunity was there for Dregam go committee room one. I not be even the part of that meeting because I not be attend, I not be feel well that day. But indeed he went there and my understanding was there was discussion where the opposition will get an opportunity for inform about especially the security situation of members of parliament, the harassment of the opposition people. A promise I understand say they been promised say I go do something about he go try a whole lot of things which me not see happen anyhow. So it is not in fact important to talk about them because I think it been just talking to for satisfy others. But what I can vouch for is that yes, there have been efforts to try to get on to him without luck. One of those times, for instance, now when Umingeda generator saga number Kenny, where people were killed and a lot more were arrested and incarcerated. So where we will try to get the release of those who were incarcerated, waiting they come up from the then IG was that matter is above him. We get for go to the president. We made an effort to try to see Mr. President. We were not able to see Mr. President on that matter.
Wow,
So
MP.
there have been a few other attempts from the part of the opposition. Yes, from the part of the opposition in parliament to get on to Mr. President, at least to engage with them or say, hey, look, this is Sierra Leone, and we are all Sierra Leoneans that we all get. Forget about us as being as opposition, but let us work for the country Sierra Leone. So any thinking for say, we have been soft on that, any thinking for say we did not bother, any thinking for say maybe our we might then don't shut them up with some envelopes, not to the case at all, I can assure everyone.
Okay. Recent protests in Sierra Leone turned violent and resulting upon the loss of lives, both civilian and policemen in active duty, is now associated with your party, the All People's Congress. How true are these allegations? And whether true or not, sir, um, um,
Very,
is it not a huge setback for your party?
very, very callous and lazy accusations, I go call them clearly. Would I not know that this country, na the world, for say Sierra Leone is going through hell at the moment? Would I not know, say, the ordinary Sierra Leonean can hardly eke out a living for the day? A ordinary Sierra Leonean go find it difficult to put food on the table. Would I not know that? would I not know say electricity expensive, if at all it is present? Would I not know what are the dangers, the difficulties where the fuel prices don't go, the current fuel prices, the enormous constraint we don't put on the lives of people. So the government not just one for own up. There's never been a situation where any opposition member take microphone, do this, go and tell people and say, "We want to come out and protest." We wanted to protest one time when the we the members of parliament, I can assure you, we meet with political party. We say, "We want to allow we don't move with people out," because we and pull 10 members of parliament because of the continuous harassment, because of in the continuous targeting of the opposition. We want to say no to this. Our party did not allow us. We party say no because even though within a party, we have to also take the instructions of the. Even though within a parliament, we also have to take the instructions of the parliament of the party for anything we want to do. So we consulted with the party, and the party said no. We are a law-abiding political party. We will not continue to engage. So that is why, I mean, there's been a whole lot of things where the party for don't stage protest for. Many things where the party for don't would I not know. Unlawful arrests, a whole lot of things. Would I not know? The party for don't protest a long time for anything day. But the party did not do. So this time, if the people then just grab then say they would say, for us, now, callous and lazy accusation. APC has nothing to do with it. It is best we call that protest, say, now economic protest. People are just venting out because of the continuous hardship within the country. So, as a government, I would have expected that. Therefore, calm down and explain to the people them. But say we understand when apply it, we understand the situation. Some of it, not to we. Let them explain. Which side they want for take excuse for saying a global dynamics. Let them explain that. Which side they want for saying a lack of enough, a lack of enough a lack of enough revenue collected. Go and start. They tell you every day the amount of revenue wouldn't they collect. Now they know they tell you again the amount of revenue wouldn't they collect. As the revenue gone down, I make one not able to do certain things again. Explain to the people. I think that was the best way to do. Rather than address the root cause, you just try for address the effect. And what is the effect? You say a political protest, and you give the protest a whole over faceless protest. You all the jargons, all the big English, you associate them with that. I don't think that is the way to go as a country. We don't need unrest. We don't want to go back to that experience of the war. We don't need all of that, you know. So, but people also get a right to feel embittered if things are going bad and hard. So that is explaining what the people are protesting for.
Okay.
So the government for own up, government for take responsibility and talk to him people and bring us all on board, bring everybody on board because we need peace and nobody should utilize any difficulty, any situation for embark on something where go bring this country back down. So as a
And
political party, we will say we have nothing to do with it. We do not endorse it. We do not promote it. We not endorse them at all.
thanks for the clarification. But however, it will appear as if the damage is done because in the lead up after the protest, some known APC operatives lost their lives extrajudicially, if I will add, never given a day in court. Their lives were taken in cold blood. That is not as a consequence of the allegation made against your party. Everybody within the party was labeled a terrorist, and that include you, a member of parliament, and the leader in a parliament. But my question to you, Honorable, is just days after, in this same
Yes.
campaign voter registration, the leader of your opposition party inside parliament, Honorable Cherno Maju Ramadan Cherry Kokoba, was seen, you know, in a joyous mood with the same people them we label them as terrorists, label all in people them as terrorists, while a lot of APC operatives were incarcerated. Some MPs were their whereabouts were unknown. We know that they were picked up by men who say they come up from the state, but their whereabouts were unknown. Was it right for the leader of the opposition, who's been accused or named as a terrorist, including his entire party, for see in a joyous mood with the very people who were calling him names, including yourself, and jailing people that belong to the party and killing some of them? Ron,
Yes, Mr. Kuma, I can understand the sentiment. It is so terribly bad that when something things happen, it's so terribly bad that this country, I mean, government or government officials or whatever, they continue to polarize this country by defining people in different ways, charming, giving people different names and nomenclatures. It is so terribly bad. And as I be they condemn violence, and so I they condemn this one back for say it is callous. It is really, really lazy for call people and terrorists. I mean, we get to be careful the way we use words. You can use the words for satisfy yourself. But when you, a president, already tell the international community, say you get terrorists them, like your country, you don't know the rippling effect where that they go bring. How is that impacting on foreign investment? How is that impacting on other things? You don't know. So we get to be careful. All of those were very unfortunate, and I hope say in a wise moment, in quiet moment, Mr. President will realize the use of all of those words then get detrimental, so to say, to an extent, way before say the joy we will get by labeling the opposition as terrorists, as this, as that, will get the benefit way if we don't, the country for don't get if he had not done that. But let us go to the point of the leader of the opposition going to a function. I not been day, I not go stand for as in own defense, but I go on for say the function where he go pan that was a national function, and if in own capacity as a leader of the opposition, he was invited. That I think what I tell is about for launch the registration, and registration is serious business. We take them very serious as a political party. We needed to know what is going there. We
yeah,
need
but
to know what is going to be said there. We need
honorable,
for
sir, honorable, that is true what you are saying. That much is true.
yes, yes,
Una take the process very seriously, and so do the people. But your entire party had been labeled terrorist. Nobody they accounts to the leader of parliament for the
yes.
parliamentarians, their colleague that were missing, and then he's there having a laugh. That's bad publicity.
Yes.
That's bad public relations.
What the video when me see, I try for analyze them. He went there to attend a national function, and I say regarding something we're very serious about this nation, elections. So, in incapacity as the leader of government, as leader of the opposition, I think it was right to have gone there. And if you with the video when me see, you will see that even restrain himself. Why is them they pull a here and there for one for lay dance with them, this and that.
But
Look at
to many people, sir, they appear
in
inconvenient because the
how is
place
that?
be inconvenient for from a psychological point of view. Because you don't want to be there whilst you're under fire and your men are under fire. No commander does that.
Well, maybe it was a catch-22 situation. A very important, hello. It was a
Yes, I
catch-22
hear you.
situation. A very
Okay.
important national. That it takes
Okay.
very seriously, and for if
Okay, we lost the honorable again. He set the buffer. So yeah, people can get different opinion, but I know there's a strong school of thought out there. And let's be clear about this. Of course, I'm not expecting the MP. Of course, he's using
Hello.
what measurably. Yes, sir. Yeah, you there on? You there on? Hello, honorable.
Okay.
Okay.
I be the Boku order. Yes, yes. Hello.
Yeah, go on. You are live. You are live.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are live.
I be aware about a whole lot of other invitations where you don't get from government, from other witnesses. Where they go there. We are aware about that. They go there. Not to all they go. But for me, I go understand why even choose for go on that one. I go understand. Because at the moment, as you know, and as everybody know, if we in a parliament, the opposition of parliament, if we not put with neck, we not put with everything on something like for elections, how are we sure? How are we going to be certain that APC for come back that power? So we take them serious. So if he had gone there, being a national event, I don't feel say he envisage, he not been see that particular thing say a fun fair for then they go make fun fair day. Where then they try for drag him inside for dance. You go see how even he restrain himself even. He not for laugh and they try for laughter, he restrain himself. He clearly was not comfortable. Don't an assumption, but I believe in this assumption for say he did not see it coming. He not prepared for that, and I know the person for say he would not have gone there if that was the kind of thing we expect. The kind of fanfare why the fanfare why I see inside did this no laugh this and that. They were joyous. You go see them on the side of the SLPP.
Absolutely,
They were fine.
absolutely. That's
They
why
were,
Sierra
but
Leoneans
you go
them
see
ask
even when them
for. Now you make it hard for let's Sierra Leoneans then forgive, that
yeah.
particular video they wake come out. Because the people them who were holding you accountable and calling you names that amount to being treasonous. And we know the punishment for treason. You don't go whining and dining with them. So maybe, like you say, maybe not been set up. But anyway, we need to move on and bring this show to an end, sir. Your party, the All People's Congress, is now a mere shadow of itself. And I say this because from the past 4 years, they take 10 parliamentarians them out of you, you did nothing. They impose a speaker on you, you did nothing. Then take you to court quite recently and then design a method, a structure by which a huge political party, if not the largest, but one of the largest in the country, then design a structure for you to operate by, give you a 21-man committee, split the 21-man committee between a 9-man and a 12-man, with the 12-man una within a parliament having the majority, and we see how una they at each other's neck. The lack of executives on all levels, zonal, ward, constituency, and you name it. Yet the advent of election is upon you. The timetable looks really, really bad, sir. And they win election by empty talk no more. I don't hear you talk, every time this come up, if I interview people, then can make an analogy or draw a parallel with 2007, I believe, when there were many litigations against the party. But this is a different era. And if you study both times, you will see say there's a huge difference this time. How confident are you about 2023 that your party will find, the impetus or the steam or the backbone for organize and go into the elections and come out victorious?
I feel very confident. I feel very, very confident. More than the word confident. Very confident. Confident for say APC is still strong. Confidence for say APC, we know what APC is around.
Okay. Any last words, sir?
Let's just come back. Let's just come back. You
Okay.
see,
Carry on.
yes, you see, SLPP, the narrative where SLPP been through was from the start for say APC no one for left power. Oh, and it's Koroma no one for left the power. all this, for every power. Then this thing can happen where they say they win the elections. And just that time, they impose a speaker, they put 10 members of parliament. You imagine, it is not something that we did not discuss about. We discuss about time, we deliberate on the next steps to take. But imagine that time day, we bring the skies down. Then for just say, you see, what you be the talk? They are some losers. They're not one for left the power. They're not one for this. So the party in own estimation by then for say
Okay.
we don't do we best for consolidate peace in the country. Let we bear. That was the position where the party take. And none of the position where the party being continue for take, right? It's unfortunate, but quite understandable. The intra-party wobbles what we get. And quite understandable. Everybody feel bad about something. Oh, because we lost the elections. Then they feel this way, then they feel this way. To an extent, now we resort for make we dirty linens be washed in a court. All that they happening, I think not a precedence kind of. If it don't happen in the past like you say, but we get confidence for say we get we get the ability, we get the moral standing for make we know say we people and then they wait for APC they need we. So we will come back and efforts are on the way. Efforts are seriously on the way, behind the scenes. For Meg, we put everything aside for the interest of the party, and on that evidence where they see and when I know about, are confident on the evidence of the preparedness of people and even for register. It is unprecedented, Mr. Kurma. It is unprecedented the levels of preparedness for government. We see the people and they say we have to take this headlong. So to answer your question, it is not good what in the happen. It is not appropriate what in the happen right now with the party. But the assurance is that we will get there. We will win the next elections. Don't consider the party for be weak at all. Anybody will consider the party weak is making a mistake. Party is not weak. Party is not weak. We have troubles. We have problems which are common in a house of a family. We not go chamot. Now that chamot thing with the pan, but we are settling it. We are settling. So I assure every of our listeners, Naya, for say, I mean, let us all come together as the last one. Let us all come together, put with faith in what you will believe in, and what you will believe in is the fact say SNPP don't fail we. SNPP don't fail we. Be you, I can feel amazed where there is a whole lot of, and just recently, there is a whole lot of grumbles even from the southeast. People as the levels of awareness of the people, it is started. We have those who are gullible, certainly so. Where before say, whatever SNPP do, for them it is fine. But you also have some of those who know say, yesterday been better past today. And the way things and they go, they are endangering. They're endangering a whole lot of other people. We will not be allowed to be reduced to the level of disintegrating this country as SAPP is doing now. But divide this country in the middle. They and us. APC, as a grassroots party, will not allow itself to do that. We want to be seen to be nationalistic. And on that basis of nationalism, even a whole lot of people be misunderstand the former president because it was looking at things with a national lens. Here we have a government today that is saying anybody will not to SAPP, not to a friend. Come on, when we don't reach when we don't reach to that level in this country, when we don't reach to that level, but with God in grace, And with the cries of the people, what would they read? The cries and wouldn't they cry? Today, one old pa who go monitor on one village, cry to we. Say, you've got to do something for redeemers. We will listen to those cries. And those cries will make all of us in the APC party, we get dissenting views. Let us listen to those cries of those poor people. Those poor people. Let us listen to those cries and be a reason for all of us to come together for a common goal. When we don't get our goal day, then we go chart the way forward in a lot of time. We not come up from inside the same, upbringing, the same house. We must get our differences. But there is one thing we all have to come together for make we do. And this is the current cries of our people. We need emancipation. And I hope, and I'm happy the level of participation where, everybody from the diaspora, they do now, the time we they invest, almost every day on a daily basis, you get a lot of other things and for do. Get your economic activities away for do. But you are giving that time, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours a day to this program for engage. You are doing great, man. Now I love my heart to you. I love my heart to the members of the empire, and for thank you very much for that contribution to national development.
Many thanks, Honorable, for your kind sentiment at the end of your brilliant monologue. We obviously will warm the hearts of members of the APC. Just on a quick note to others, the platform is open to everybody. This includes all political parties. So the one they will send invitation to the SLPP, C4C, NGC. Their invitation and they are open, and we look forward to hosting UNA. So bear in mind that the platform is an open platform. We want to hear from everybody from different walks of life in Sierra Leone. Today, now the Honorable Member of Parliament, Constituency 033, the Right Honorable Peter Yamba Koroma, we will listen to. We give clarifications on many things, from voter registration to the protest, to the labeling of in party, to parliamentary activity them, to the passing of bills. One thing I not talk about now the welfare bill, but I will save them for the next time, because I believe, say, Honorable, this is your first time. This is your first time, but not the last time, sir. It's been a brilliant run, and I really do appreciate. Yeah, I really do appreciate. Fambulem unagoyeri from we again soon. Hopefully on this Wednesday, we're supposed to get a chair lady, aspiring chair lady for the women's wing, something like that at the diaspora. Sister Bintu will be on the platform, I believe, on Wednesday. So now keep watch out for the flyer. Once again, I want to thank Honorable Yamba Koroma for taking the opportunity for Can Clarify. This is history made. This could go a long way. And you name that history is set. Many thanks and have a good night, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kuma. Thank you to all listeners. Thank you. I hope for get another opportunity